All right, I'm good.
Okay, take two. Hello and welcome to podcast episode 45. And I have the most exciting treat for you today. Happy Thanksgiving if you are listening to this on the day it drops. It is Thanksgiving 2021 and the most perfect time for me to introduce you to my treasure friend. I'm so excited to bring to you my friend Regan, who you have heard about in a few episodes, namely, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that because I just want to bring her on because this is such an exciting episode for me that I've been so excited to do for months and months. So, don't go anywhere. Stick around. We are going to be talking about lots of fun things, how we met, and all the things that we are excited about, grateful for, and lots more that I have no idea what will come out of her mouth. So stay tuned. Welcome to the podcast, Empowered by Design. I'm your host, Dr. Liz, a licensed psychologist and owner of Visionistas by Design Wellness Boutique in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. This podcast is about the power of connection and a proactive approach to mental health and overall wellness. It's about finding and owning your power right now and using it for good by nurturing the connection of body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. Empowered by Design podcast delivers psychological concepts and practical strategies with a real-life approach, designed to empower health and wellness, optimal performance, authentic connection with yourself and others, and purposeful, joyful living. Be well, live empowered, dream, design, deliver. So here we are. I am going to introduce you to my very, very most favorite treasure friend, Regan. Welcome, Reg. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was months ago that I talked about this, and you said, "Yeah, I'll be on your show. I'll be on the podcast."
Sure. Yeah. Doesn't matter to me. This is exciting.
Thank you. It is exciting. And you have been one of my biggest fans since the podcast launched. So you have heard me talk about Regan a few times, in the very first episode at all, episode 1, Reflections of Joy, or Reflections for Joy. That was episode number 1. And in that episode, which I recorded on New Year's Eve of 2020, I talked about us having a conversation, me and you, Regan, about just things that we were happy about, things we're grateful for, just life in general. And I talked about that conversation. So if you didn't hear that yet, you can go back and listen to Reflections of Joy, episode number 1. And then the other episode where I actually pretty much coined or introduced the term treasure friend was episode 18, Dreaming is My Superpower, where I talked about you. And then there's been bits and pieces of you mentioned in different episodes, because that's what a treasure friend is. It's just life, and you come up a lot because we talk about this, and you've given me some very constructive and positive and exciting and encouraging feedback for this podcast. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So today we're going to talk about how we met and
how do you remember how we met? We were babies.
Yeah, we were babies.
That was great.
So I always do that when I have a guest on the episode. I talk about how we met. And yes, so we met because our moms were best friends when they were pregnant with us. And so we have had the luxury of having friendship with each other for our entire lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's pictures to prove it. So
yes.
We grew up, so the interesting thing is that we have plenty of similarities and we have plenty of differences. So
I
I am the
agree.
oldest of four children, and you're the youngest of your four.
Yep.
So this episode is called Expressions of Gratitude because it is being aired on Thanksgiving around the holiday season. Of course, it is a wonderful time to think about and reflect on all the things that make us grateful and joyful and happy and thankful. And so we will be doing that just kind of throughout. So we invite you to do the same as you're thinking and as you're listening, wherever you're listening. And thank you for coming back if you are a returning listener. And if this is your first time, welcome. This is a really special one. So Regan and I, we have a monthly date that we see each other, and we basically just catch up, talk about our lives. So we're just going to start with that, talk a little bit about what's been going on. Today, for me, I was so needing to see you and talk to you. So we are doing this via Zoom, even though we live like a half hour away. But
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, we this is like our third try of meeting because we're busy people, right? Full time, we both have full-time jobs and families and just lots and lots of things going on in life.
Yeah.
And it's the holiday season. So we tried to make a date for this episode a couple times. We finally nailed it down to today. And then today, last minute, I had to change my schedule and do a impromptu doctor visit. Everything's good.
Yeah.
But we had to move it, shift it around a bit today. But I will tell you, um, yeah, it's nice just to sit down and talk and just have a
Breathe.
conversation, breathe. Yeah. And you tell me that. That's one of the things that you tell me a lot is
Yeah.
that
Breathe.
I breathe, that I do too much.
You have to relax.
Hmm. Well, that's funny coming from you because you do
I
not
know.
relax.
I create chaos in my life.
You said when I said, can we change the time? How about this time? And you're like, yeah, I don't need to be sitting down. And I'm
No.
like um, picturing you like vacuuming or just doing something while you were zooming.
I'm trying to sit for you. I
Thank
am.
you. I appreciate it. It is hard
And
for you to sit still. It's always been.
yes.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
one of the things I remember about when we were when we were little. So we played a lot together. We would do lots of sleepovers, lots of play dates. Before, I don't think we ever even called it a play date. It was just kind of like, can I go to Regan's?
Yeah. Yeah. Or
uh,
vice versa.
yeah, and vice versa. But you always wanted to be playing outside.
Yeah. And you hated it.
I know.
Let's bake something. I wanted to make forts out of wood, and you wanted to bake
Yeah. Yeah.
Rice Krispie treats out of Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, that is one thing I remember making. And
Yeah.
it's funny, I don't love, I think I did love baking when I was little. It's not something I like, it's not one of my, I would say it's definitely not one of my hobbies. It's not something I enjoy right now in my life. And you
Well, because
actually, you cook a lot,
I cook. Yeah. I don't bake, but I like cooking, not baking.
not
Too
baking.
tedious. No.
Yeah.
I'm antsy. Does that make sense? I'm putting chapstick on. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm antsy. I'm antsy.
What are you antsy about?
I don't know.
Like, what do you mean you're antsy? Like, you want to be moving?
Yeah. So I am.
Okay.
I was playing too much with my hands. And then I feel like if I talk, I don't want to interrupt you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But
Never done
that's
one of
what
these.
kind of we do. We just interrupt each other.
True. True that.
So tell me, like when I asked you to be on the podcast months and months ago,
Yeah.
what you really didn't hesitate. You just said Yeah, I'll do that. But tell me
Yeah.
like what it was like for you to think about being on this.
I didn't really think about it. I was just hoping that you just say stuff and I then come back and talk about it or whatever.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well,
Because
and
like
it
when we
does remind it
what?
reminds me of our dynamic when we were younger too of I always had these I'm an ideas person and I
Mm.
always like would have these ideas and um and
Yeah,
I
you did
wouldn't
have ideas.
what
I said, yeah, you sure did have ideas.
yeah and so like I would invite you to do it with me and sometimes invite is um
It
maybe
wasn't
not
invite, it was forceful. There's the difference.
there
It's
is.
not invite.
Yeah, I had to talk you into a lot of things.
Yeah, or we're doing this. Like singing There's a Hole in the Bucket, Dear Liza. That wasn't really an option.
Right. Right.
It's okay though. It's fun.
So when we were little, we would go to sleepaway camp and we would yeah, we would there was a talent night. There was always a
Yep.
talent night and I loved doing talent night whether it was doing a skit, lip syncing. We did lip sync to
Oh,
The Lime
yeah.
and the Coconut, which that really put us on the map at camp.
Yeah, that's it.
People really loved
It put
that.
us on that. Oh God.
Um, So, and then, yeah, I remember one of the times we did some kind of, maybe it was Lime and the Coconut, where we even made up dance moves and we were practicing. I wish people could see you wiping your brow. Um,
Yeah.
um, Practicing on the back porch of the infirmary,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep. It was good times. It was
Hmm.
good times. I I remember when we had to put like these pigtails in our hair for some song and you drew freckles on my face.
I think that was, I think that was the hole in the bucket. Yeah.
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 Hmm.
Or let's be in choir in church, Regan. Let's do that. You wanted to do that. And
Well,
then
we
oh
sang in church. We went to the same church. So our parents yes, it's definitely true that our parents became really, really great friends because our dads played softball together on the church softball team.
yes.
So when we were little, our parents were very involved in church. We went Sunday and we also went Wednesday nights for like family night.
Yep.
And so we saw each other at least twice a week. And when we were young, we only lived probably 5 to 10 minutes away,
Yeah,
and
not too far.
not too far. So we saw each other there, but then our moms did everything together. So they swimming lessons and just shopping and all the different things, and even vacations like we've done together.
Yeah.
There's pictures.
There's
So yeah,
pictures.
so you were saying we sang in the church, but there are pictures of us even singing like in matching outfits when we are like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Young.
young.
We can blame our mothers for that then.
Yeah, we probably
There
can.
you go.
When you think about, so we'll talk a little bit about today. This season,
Okay.
this holiday season is Thanksgiving. And how do you tell me how you're gonna celebrate? How do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
Well, I'm going to my sister's house, her lake house tomorrow.
Mm,
We did that last year too, so that was really nice. Um, I never do anything at my house. I'm always going to someone else's house. But yeah, we're gonna go and it's going to be small and I'm taking the dog.
nice.
Hopefully she doesn't jump in the water.
You're a dog mom.
Oh yes,
Yes.
that's my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It's gonna be
and
fun.
you all bring a dish, or does someone do most of the cooking?
Well, it depends where it is. So her husband, he's a very good cook. So he likes to do it like he's going to deep fry a turkey and he's going to make oh, I forget the name of the meat. Usually if Elizabeth, hold on.
Okay.
My phone was ringing. Sorry. You're gonna
That's
have
okay.
to. So I'm just bringing vegetables to roast, and I got pies because Abigail makes pies.
Oh, that's
So
right. Yes.
I supported her and bought 2 pies.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. So it's easy for me this year, but some years, like when it's at Shan's house, I'm really going with her
Cooking a
in her
lot.
kitchen. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Not
it's a
this
day
year.
where you're going to relax.
In my own special way. Yeah.
What is your own special way?
I don't relax. I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
don't sit. As Mike will tell you, I'm my own worst enemy. I do not sit ever. Maybe I do actually. That's a lie. At nighttime, because I'm tired, 6 o'clock, I'll sit for
Mm-hmm.
a little bit and then cook, but that's it.
And
I
so
don't
when you
sit.
were saying you were antsy before, it's just kind of that's part of your personality. You've always liked moving around.
Go, go, go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it keeps you good. It keeps you healthy and crazy.
It does. Yes, it does. But it's funny now when I think about you telling me to slow down and me to relax. And I remember a conversation where you're like, you're doing too much. You need to stop something. But really, when coming from you, that's funny.
I know it is, but I know I just don't worry about it. Don't.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just making
No, it's just I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. Pace yourself. And me and my dad pace ourselves the same way. So
Yes,
when
you
we
are.
tell each other to pace ourselves, we understand what we're saying,
Okay.
right? So maybe today I'm pacing myself right now.
Yes, you are sitting down for more than usual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think for me tomorrow, I'm excited. So I'm excited. We're laughing. Oh my goodness. So I just have to say to paint the picture of this podcast. So it was supposed to be earlier today, but I couldn't do it earlier today. I had to take my son to get his pinky recast. But now I'm sitting in my hallway because we're ripping out, not when I say we're ripping out bushes and trees, my husband is outside ripping out bushes and trees. And I knew that if I was in my own office, it's right at that window. So there would be too much noise. But now every time he comes into the building and does anything, I hear it. And because this hallway has terrible acoustics. So whatever, it is what it is today. We're rolling with it, but so just to set up this picture, I'm sitting in the hallway, and you're sitting on your couch. I did bring a comfy chair into the hallway, but
Okay.
it's definitely not how I'm usually doing a podcast. But so what I was saying before, so when you hear these noises, you hear the beeps of the building. That's it. It's just we're rolling with the circumstances today, and I appreciate your flexibility and rescheduling. But that's life, right? Like I really,
Yeah.
really wanted to do this with you today. And I said to you, I texted you, I said my soul needs
Yeah.
needs your sense of humor because that is one of our differences, I would say, is that you are really good all the time at joking.
Well, I don't really try to. It just I don't really just I don't really take so this is going to sound so messed up, but I don't take much seriously.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because in life, you just have to go with the flow. So that's just what I do.
Yeah.
I go with the flow,
Yeah.
like I make, even if something's serious, I make it light.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
And
really good for me because I can really get to the extremes. I remember I can be laughing hysterically and jumping and excitable. And I can also I can get to the low places
yeah,
pretty like cry. and do all the things on the other
I get
end of
like
it.
that too, but I just talk crap to myself then. You know, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, stop being such a baby,
Okay.
or stop being pitiful,
So that
you
you
know?
talk yourself out of it. You just talk yourself right out of the sadness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Cause that's like, that's not who you are. That's like, I literally talk to myself,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But sometimes you have to cry and sometimes you have to get frustrated. I mean, I get frustrated a lot. You know that I go from 0 to 100 in a second, especially when driving. Um,
Yes.
yeah, but
That is
that,
another similarity. We both have some limited patience when we're
yeah,
driving.
yeah, no limits. Yeah. Yeah. But at least, you don't fear your life when I'm driving. I wouldn't think, but you scare me when you're driving.
Yeah. I know
Foot
you
up
don't.
on the dash and one foot on the floor.
I don't always drive like that, but
Okay.
yeah, that is my comfortable position, not having, yeah. I like to be comfortable
Yeah,
when I'm driving.
that works.
I am looking forward to this. I am looking forward to just a little bit of relaxation tomorrow, right? So, and the holiday season.
But do you really relax during the holiday season?
I was thinking about that today because I knew you would kind of yell at me, but I was like, okay, some of my work that's technically work because I own a business. So it is hard have found it hard to sometimes draw boundaries as I'm still, I think, navigating that because there are certain things that I'm doing for work, for the business, but feel really fun, right? But technically, it's still work. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's
Right.
technically still work. Like even the podcast. This is fun for me. I love doing the podcast. And technically, it's not like this is my hobby. It's still,
Right.
it's
Right.
still part of my work. I'm still bringing a message. I'm still, even when I'm doing fun episodes, it's still part of my, it's part of the work.
Right.
So yeah, so tomorrow I'm not going to be doing any work, and Thursday, I mean that's tomorrow. Friday we'll see each other again Friday.
Yep.
Um,
Nine
and I'll
thirty.
hmm
9:30.
9:30. Yep, 9:30 a.m. bright and early. I'm thinking of shopping. I always do a little bit of shopping at midnight, but only like maybe an hour or two. And then a little bit maybe more on Friday. But I do have some tasks that did not get done today that I wanted to get done that I'll have to get done Friday. And then Saturday is actually Small Business Saturday, which I'm so, 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 so excited about. So where I'm sitting right now in the hallway of my office, I'm looking out. Do you hear a weird noise?
Yeah.
No. Oh, it's the phone ringing.
Yeah. That would be, yeah.
It's the phone ringing. I'm
That's
not going to
great.
get that. So, oh, it's just one thing after another.
I love it.
And it just keeps going.
This is typical though for us.
It is typical for
This
us.
is
It is.
typical.
And we start a story and then we like get back to
Change the
it maybe
subject.
5 years later, but maybe not. I remember one
Yeah.
time texting you after like we left each other and saying, I forgot to finish that story, right? And
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
finish it. So I'm looking out into the big room, the main room of the office where we're going to be having Small Business Saturday here in Nazareth. We have invited several different vendors, artists, healers, creators who are all in the wellness
Ooh.
space, or in that kind of theme of empowering women, empowering people in general, and healing and just bringing different things. So I'm so, so, so excited because you know how I love bringing people together. That's just one of
Yes.
the things that I love to do. I love seeing other people's dreams come true. It's just so much fun. And so I'm so excited for Saturday, Small Business Saturday. So if you are in the area and you are looking to support local, shop local, come visit us at the boutique in Nazareth. You can check us out on Facebook on our Visionistas by Design Facebook page or our website under events and get directions. But yeah, so we will have lots of different people here. You can get a henna tattoo, you can buy some art, you can try some Someone's going to be having oracle cards. So it's going to be a blast. Yeah,
Ooh.
I know. Doesn't that sound fun? Like a
Yeah, but I wouldn't
party.
mess with that. You would.
Hmm?
I wouldn't. I
What?
wouldn't mess with that.
Oh, the oracle cards?
Yeah, you would be all over it, but
I
not me.
know. I did invite you. Well, yes, because we have we have talked before about being able to feel spiritual energy and wanting.
Mm.
I actually offered last year for your birthday to go to a psychic, but you said
Yeah.
no way.
No way.
A psychic medium, not someone. I don't want someone to tell our fortune, like our
Right.
future.
Right.
But I am intrigued by the medium, and I've never been to one, but I will be going to one in the future. But you said no.
Well, tell me, you go and do it and you tell me how it works out
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
my mom will go with me. I think she would. I think she would be a little nervous about it, but she's a risk taker, so
There you go.
or I'll just go by
I'm a,
myself.
I'm a risk taker too, but I ain't messing with that juju stuff. Like I just don't. I just,
But um, but I do think that we have talked about. So we've talked about even when we've sat together. I have felt like what I've come to really believe is spiritual energy from the beyond, from people who have gone, and I, like we've talked about that before, where we've had dreams about your mom, right?
yeah.
So your mom passed away when we were 8, and so we have sat together and talked about our memories. We've talked about our dreams about her.
Yeah.
We've felt her presence. I believe we have felt her presence with us in
Yeah.
certain times. I know I have felt that. I don't know if you have felt it too, but I feel like, we have felt her.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think when you sit down, you can feel it better. You know what I
Mm,
mean? When you're in a calm state of mind,
yes.
you can. It's not often, but I just, and it's like the old saying, right? They're always with you. But like I know that she is. So I think I don't necessarily feel her all the time, but there's some very important times in my life that yes, I felt her.
Hmm.
So
Well, you feel her, and the way you're talking about it, I think that you have made it. The way you have made me understand it is that you know she's with you, right? Whether it's a feeling or just a belief or the faith or the just
right,
kind of that, just like knowing that she's with you.
right.
Yeah.
But then there's been times where I feel her. She's holding my hand.
Mm,
And maybe that's all in my mind. Who knows? But it comes at the perfect time.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. I think that
Perfect time.
the perfect timing.
Yep.
Yeah. How did we get on that?
I don't know. You brought it up. Like,
I talked about, I was, was talking about Small Business Saturday. You said you wouldn't mess with Oracle cards. We got to, okay. So that's what we do. We get off on a tangent, and yeah, so this is our introduction. I believe that this is not going to be your last visit with me on this show, on this podcast, because we have a lot to talk about as far as how to, what it's like to be, what it's like to have lost your mom at 8 years old, right? And that's something
yep.
I'm hoping we'll talk about in the future, because I think it's helped you. For me, you are very resilient. You are a very resilient person and strong, and it's making me tearful because I really do. I am always impressed by your strength, not just of having lost your mom, but just your life and things that you've experienced and continue to experience every day. Stop
Yeah.
shaking your head at me.
No, I'm good. Well, because I'm starting to get choked up and my phone's dying. so I have to plug it in. So I'm walking around, sitting down on the floor. Yeah. So hold on. All right. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, we have to be strong. We're all strong in our own ways.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's no time. I don't know. I was raised that you don't be weak. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not saying that there's something wrong with people who are sad or anything, but I've learned that it will eat you up. It will eat you up if you allow it to. So, and that takes energy, that drains you.
Yeah. So you don't sit in it too long.
Never.
You allow yourself to feel sad, right? Like even we can laugh 1 second and cry the next second and go right
Yeah,
back
we
to
do that a
laughing.
lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you need that,
The
right? You need
balance.
to laugh.
Yeah, you do. You do.
You need to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
It makes everything go away.
It does.
At least to me.
Yeah, a few weeks ago probably maybe a month or two ago when we were together, what was I venting about something, and you just really just kept, you brought the humor. You lightened my load with your levity.
Yeah. I don't even remember what I was saying to you, but you were like, I needed that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
Because
think that's the special thing, right? Because so that's the part of being a treasure friend, is you don't even know. It's not like you're like, ooh, Liz needs this right now, so I'm gonna do this for her. It's just a natural thing. We've been together longer than anyone in our
yes.
lives. I've known you longer than, any of my other friends, and that is the treasure of it. It's just,
Yeah.
there's not an
So
effort. It's
grateful.
it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it's like, I don't need that right now. I
Yeah.
need this. Like we can say that to each other, and we know we love
Oh
each
yeah.
other without.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can be brutally honest and no one's going to get offended.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
That's the nice part. Yeah.
That is the nice part. I'm going to move into our this or that phase.
Okay.
So when I have a new guest on the podcast, I like to play a little game called This or That. So the first time that I played the game, it was on episode 8, which was my first episode, I think, that I called a celebration episode. You know me, I love celebrating. So if there's any reason to celebrate, we're celebrating. And so we're celebrating this of your first of, I hope, more than one times that you'll be joining me on the podcast. But it's your first one, so we're going to do this or that. And I am going to give you 2 choices, and you go with your first one, and then tell us why you chose it. So this or that, Cabbage Patch Dolls or Barbie dolls?
Come on now. That was cheating. Cabbage Patch dolls. Barbie dolls were always so fake and plastic because, like, come on. I can't even get into that. We give our children these dolls with boobies. Like, I'm sorry.
You just said boobies. I feel like I'm 8 years old.
I know.
Laughing at the word boobies.
Oh, Cabbage Patch.
Yes, you had. Now that was an easy one. I knew the answer to that one, but
Yeah.
you had a. Did you ever count? Do you have a tally of how many Cabbage Patch?
No.
I had, I was so excited. I had 1 Cabbage Patch doll. And then I got a Cabbage Patch doll preemie, and that was it. That was mine.
Yeah.
Total of 2. And I think you had 48 of them.
No, they're all still in my room at Dad's in the closet.
Oh my goodness.
All of them.
All of
them. Do you remember even making them?
Oh, I do remember making them.
I have one with 2 toes on one foot. And
we sewed.
God. Yes.
What was that about? When did we do that?
I think it was part of, what was it? Calvinettes?
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah.
was.
That is
Oh my
one scary
gosh.
looking doll.
I don't,
Yeah.
so I must have three then. That one, I don't think that one
Yeah.
made it. I don't know where
No.
that one is. No, but we loved playing with the Cabbage Patch dolls when we were little. We loved
Yeah, we
that.
did.
So that was
Yeah.
one way I could get you to stay inside was let's play with the Cabbage Patch dolls.
Yes, I agree with you there.
Yes. Okay. Next one, um, slip and slide or swimming pool.
Slip and slide. Why? Because you're slick. Um, do you remember when we would put the slip and slide at dad's at the end of the patio and slip and slide into the mulberries
Yes.
because that tree was there?
Yes.
So I'm going to say slip and slide. That's more fun because my hair would turn green in the pool all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember. So yes, when you were little, you had a beautiful in-ground pool and we loved swimming in the pool. And your family,
Yeah.
you hosted lots of parties, lots of after a church softball game, we'd go
Yeah.
back to the box sides and
Yeah.
do the pool party. And Luke almost drowned. That's a story
Oh,
that my mom will talk about. Luke was, you know, when there's so many, Luke is my brother, my younger brother. When there's so many people in a pool and, you know, just like playing
having
and
fun.
whatever,
Yeah.
Luke was going under, and my dad was in the pool and didn't notice it. My mom was outside of the pool, jumped into the pool with all of her clothes on and got him. Yeah. I don't know why that
Wow.
popped into my head, but thinking about your pool, like, okay, that was
Yeah.
one not so great memory. I mean, he's good.
Right.
Everything worked out, but we loved playing in swimming in the pool, and we had to cross the mulberry lawn.
Yeah. Our feet were purple by the time we got to the pool.
Yeah, our feet were always purple at your house when we
Yeah.
were outside. But the slip and slide was really fun. But also I feel like the slip and slide came a little bit later in our childhood,
I agree. Yeah, it did.
not when we were young.
No. Yeah.
So it was one of those fun developments. Okay.
Yeah.
And lastly, I don't know if I love this one. Okay. Disney World or a cabin in the woods?
You're so silly. Disney World, really? Yeah. I went to Disney World a lot when I was young. Too many people. I am not a people person. Get away from me. Put me at that cabin in the woods. You know, every year I like to be at the cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
No one around. I hear cows mooing. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
you do. I wish I didn't stump you on any of them.
No, you weren't very creative there.
I know. Every one of those questions I asked you, you had a really good answer. Maybe one will pop into my head before we're done. And then another, excuse me, another question I like to ask people is, you know me and my mantra for the work that I do in my therapy and coaching in this podcast and just helping people in general, because I have found not only through my training and education that it's helpful, but that it's helpful for me personally too. The aspect of incorporating your mind, your body, your heart, your soul, and your spirit. So I would love for you to tell us, when you think about the way that you take care of yourself, if you have to say the best way I take care of myself, self-care, self-nurturing, where would it fit in? Which category would it fit into? Body, mind, heart, soul, or spirit?
Mind.
Okay.
We were just talking about that. You know what I mean? It's my mind. I'm my own worst enemy all the time. So for me, with life, right, it's all in my mind. Something can be serious, but I make light of it because that's how I have to do it. You know? I don't know.
So
What?
when you think about using your mind, you do it by making things less serious than they are.
Yes.
Seeing the bright side.
Yes. Like I always say, everybody always says the cup's half empty. I always say it's half full, but really it's either or, but I always say the cup is always half full.
Mm-hmm. When
So,
is that, when it's really, really hard for you to do that, where do you find the strength to look at things from the cup half full aspect?
because I don't want to let anybody down.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you were saying earlier about being strong. Well, we're all strong, but I don't like anybody to see weakness in me.
Hmm.
And there's really two people in this world who, well, three, who I can't really hide it from. So I don't even know what I was going to say. What did you just ask me?
You got,
Because I started to get choked up.
you
See how
did. Yeah, you got
talk.
emotional. You didn't, you said, I don't want to let people down. That's how that's
Right.
where I draw from my strength.
Right. So I push and do what I do because I don't want to let anybody down.
Mm-hmm.
Not, and I don't want to let myself down, but there's, like, I don't know. That's me. I don't like letting people down.
Mm-hmm.
If you're expecting this from me, well, I have to keep that facade up all the time. Even though believe me, I don't,
Because you
my
you
beautiful
do let it
husband sees
down.
it.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. No, that's all right. I just said my beautiful husband, he sees it all the time. My temper tantrums, and you've seen them.
Well, we've seen each other's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you just want to chuck something.
Yeah.
Throw something, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you can be so sad, but you still want to throw something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think that's the thing that I would say that you do, that I see from my perspective, is that you have really, really good people in your life. And when it feels like it's too hard to do on our own, because
Yeah.
it is, right?
Yeah.
Like as much as even myself, I like to, learn lessons and heal myself and take care of myself. Sometimes you just need a hug from someone. Sometimes you just need to call a friend. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
I just need to see your face and laugh,
Yeah.
like from your jokes or whatever. But it is surrounding yourself with the people who love you, who care about you, and can see through some of those strong faces, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
To
yeah.
say, I think you need a hug.
Yeah. Or you're so full of it.
Yeah.
You're so full of it, Regan. You're so full of it. Who are you trying to fool?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, so in the spirit of expressing gratitude, right, today, because we do that in this season. And I think it's just an important piece to talk about, because sometimes it can feel forced. Like, for sure, gratitude is helpful. But I think one of the biggest lessons that we're talking about today is that it's about balancing the things that you use, right? So yes, you can be glass half full. Yes, you can express gratitude and be happy and joyful. And if you're doing that, ignoring the sadness, ignoring the negative, not people aren't buying that. Right? And it's not,
Right.
that's not as healthy as balancing it.
Right. And your mind, think about it. Hello, this is what you do for a living. Your mind controls everything. Everything. If you're sick, if you're happy, if you're sad, it all starts up there. If you let something beat you mentally, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. And I think for me, that's why for me, this year really, this year, I would say, has been a really big journey for me personally and professionally, just incorporating all of those things, because I think, yeah, you can rely on your mind, or your body, or whatever it is that, is your go-to. And sometimes it doesn't work, right? For me,
Right.
like sometimes I can say, come on, mind, like switch it, switch the focus. Let's be grateful. Let's do some gratitude. Let's look at the bright side. And sometimes that just doesn't work. And I have to
Yeah.
do something else, like go for a walk or do a workout or have a hug or pray or meditate, right? So pulling into the screen, pulling into the experience, those different aspects of
Yeah.
life. And so, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, that's it. That's a wrap for us today. Was there anything
Good.
else you wanted to say?
Um, no, I don't think so. I think no. I just no. I'm great. I'm very grateful um for you. I am. I love you.
Me too.
I do. Sorry.
No, that's
But
okay. That's okay. I love
I
you.
thought you were going to make me get on this thing today and be like, "Oh, what are you grateful for?" And like I was going to have to think of all this stuff, and the only thing I could think of is I'm so grateful for you. Because I don't say it enough. So, you are my treasure friend.
Thank you. I
Yes.
love you. Yeah.
I love
It's
you too.
hard. I didn't expect you to do that. You don't usually bring the tears.
Yeah, because I'm really not that type of person, but I am. You know that. You
Thank you.
know that. Yeah.
I do know that. And
So,
I know that that's the side of you I know that's there always. And I can
yeah.
feel it even if you're not saying lovely things. So I appreciate
Lovely
that. Thank you.
things.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think one of the things, like we always called each other our best friends. And as you grow up and we've been through the ringer together, right? Like
Yes. Yes.
um loss and grief and medical stuff and trauma and tragedy and cancer, parents having cancer
Yes.
and just all the things and
Yeah.
moving and college and
Yeah. Me driving up there 6 hours.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and things we won't talk about this episode for sure.
No.
We've gotten in a little bit of trouble together.
Yeah.
No, but we've been through a lot together. We've seen each other at our highs and our lows, and
Yeah.
I'm thankful beyond measure for you. So thank you for this today. Thank you for always being my treasure friend. I think when I that can't, I don't even, when I talked about that, it was very much like best friends. Like I said, we've grown up and we have lots of people. And I think I always hear you talking about your husband as your best friend and think about that as like that's a partner, your partner, your best friend
Right.
in all the world. And that our friendship has grown with us, right? Grown with
Yes.
us. And for me to think of you as my treasure friend it was funny. Yesterday I did my devotional and the word treasure was one of the verses of something. I
Mm.
wish I could remember it, but of course I won't because I don't have that great of a memory, but it was, where your treasure is, there your mind is also. Something like that. Isn't
Oh,
that awesome? Yes.
yes. Yes.
I don't have the reference off the top of my
Yes.
head. Maybe I'll look it up and put it in the show notes. Maybe I won't because I don't know. But yeah, that was that was the, the gist of it. And so I think what I love about us is that connection that feels like it's always there, no matter how far away we are, no matter how
Right.
much time has passed. And I'm so
Right.
thankful that we have been much more intentional in the last, I would say, 5 years of really making time for each other and our
Yes.
friendship, and that reconnection. Because again, life gets busy, and that's the encouragement today too for those of you listening is to make an intentional, we schedule it in every month, right? Like we see each
Yeah.
other every month. It's in the books. It's in the schedule. If something happens, like when I had COVID, we had to take a
Oh,
little
God.
break.
Yeah.
But yeah, so find your friends, find your treasure friend, and make the time to nurture that relationship. This month, this week, this holiday season, this year, and again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here.
Thank you.
And you'll be hearing from Regan again. I'm sure of it.
Yes. Perfect.
We always have lots to say.
Yeah, we do. You just have to like turn a mic on one time and just let it go.
That's what I wanted. Yeah, that I do wish sometimes when it wasn't like we're scheduled to do a podcast, that it was just like a candid, I should bring the mic next time and just like let it roll.
Right. I mean, you might have a lot of
date.
editing.
Huh?
Yeah. You might have a lot of editing, but
Well,
it'll
yeah,
be
we
worth
might
it.
have to bleep some stuff out.
Yeah.
Or
That's what
no,
makes
we're
it
not
fun.
allowed to tell that story.
No.
All right. Well, I love you. Have
I
a
love you too.
wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving to you, Regan, to all of you out there. Not just a happy Thanksgiving, but happy, joyful holiday season. It is the part of the kickoff is this November time, and we hope that you enjoy the moments. Enjoy the moments. Breathe. Try to sit down. Sit down and breathe, and have some fun. Find someone to call that you haven't maybe seen for a while, that makes you laugh, makes you cry, like our treasure friend. And we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for connecting on this episode of the podcast, Empowered by Design. For further connection, subscribe to my email list at drliz.com to be sure that you are in the loop for exciting news, events, and resources. You can also follow me on social media at Dr. Liz and at Visionistas by Design. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast and send this episode to one of your people in order to share the love, spread the power. This podcast is designed to inspire, educate, and empower you to pursue your dreams with intentional vision. This podcast is not meant to be a substitute for psychological treatment or a working relationship with a licensed mental health professional. For more information on connecting with mental health resources in your area, visit drliz.com and click on resources. Thank you again for connecting, and remember, trust the heart, work your vision, dream, design, deliver.